and leading into the next year's budget, because we are doing the comprehensive planning process. Will take about a year, and this naturally leads into that, and many of the things will be carried on. The resolution here that we put before you is a resolution which identifies the following 8 goals as the ones that got the most votes by the council. I would want to identify the language in there and talk a little bit about it. It said the following 8 goals to be adopted and given to the staff to execute. Execute means, I think what it really means, that we will try to do that. It doesn't mean that every one will get done and all the money and time and effort we spend on it, but we'll try to do those things as we move forward, and when we prepare next year's budget, we'll know that these things are in there as our high priorities. I also have a typographical error that I want to correct there on the bullets that you see on those 8 bullets. The second one says acquisition of police vehicle laptop computers to be purchased. That is not purchased, it's to be pursued, because we're working on that, and we'll get some now and we'll get some later. So we will keep working on that and give that a high priority. The other thing I wanted to say, these bullets are all just bullets. They're not numbered because we didn't number them 1 through 10. They all are high priorities. We'll work for them as the time and money allows. Some things will come sooner and some things will come later, but we will continue to use this as our guidance from the City Council on those things that we should pursue. And unless there are any questions, I think that is what we'd like to put in front of the council.
Do we have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Just, and Mr. Rasmussen and I discussed this, just making sure that department heads understand that we're following our normal purchase process, and that just because these things were agreed upon, like you said, we're not going to go right out and spend the money yet.
Well, yeah, absolutely, that's right. This gives us our guidance as to what to pursue.
Yeah.
For example, we won't have the staff doing a bunch of work and doing a staff study and getting evidence for something that you don't want to pursue. But if there's something you do want to pursue, then we'll spend the time and effort necessary to bring the information back to you. It's guidance to us, and it'll also help us as we begin to prepare the budget this year, because we'll be working on the budget to bring back to you, to the Finance Committee, and we'll do a lot of work on it before it comes back to you so that you don't have to do that work. And what we'll do when we do it is we'll use this as our guidance, the things that you want. So when we bring this back to you, you'll have a good idea that we've already taken your guidance on it. And this is infinitely amendable. Anytime you want to change that or have something else you go into it, we will do that. But at least we have guidance on which way to work now.
Any other questions? All in favor of the resolution, let's say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, item D. I believe we have a letter to the city and park department. Mr. Collins, can you please share with us?
Mayor and Council. Don Collins, I'm here as chairman of the park board. It's an honor for me tonight to read this letter from the attorneys from the estate of Saul Asterton. Saul was very dear to the city and always had the city in his heart. And he's even doing that after his death. Enclosed is a check in the amount of $10,000, representing a distribution from the estate of Saul Asterton. Mr. Asterton indicated he wanted to leave this sum because the city of Kennett received a 9-year-old immigrant boy and taught him the meaning of America and wherein reside the dear friends of his life. It is to be used by the Kennett Park Board for the improvement or expansion of the Kennett Municipal Park System and recreational activities. He directed that authority for expending these funds shall be placed in the Kennett Park Board, and the board will do its due diligence to spend them wisely. So just wanted to thank Saul for the gift.
Good man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good man.
It was great to us at Park Town.
Yes, it was.
Was the mayor for how long? 12 years? That's a long time. Hold this pocket. All right, thank you for the letter. Item C, we'll go to approval of contract with Thomas Fate Noble for the CPA work for the year.
That is the firm that has been doing our audit the last couple of years, and I would recommend we stay with them because they have figured out our accounting system, our fund accounting. And so they are looking at $42,000 a year, which is less than what I had budgeted. So I would recommend that we approve this contract.
I make a motion.
We have a motion, I think I heard a second. Somebody?
No, I have a question.
Oh, well, I
Yes.
second first.
Well,
We have a
I
motion.
thought,
That's
you
why
had
I
your
want
mouth
that.
open, I was gonna write, yes,
Didn't say
yes,
no.
sir.
He got
Get a
a
Oh, you
second
gotta
first.
have
He
a
does
second
second.
first. He did, okay. You know,
All right.
yeah, blah, 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 okay.
How much do we pay him last year?
I wanna say, you always ask me something, I can't remember, maybe close to 60.
Okay.
It's getting better each year as we get our stuff straightened out.
Okay.
And we had to catch up for
Yes,
every
yes.
year prior to.
We're about there.
I have a question. Since we haven't seen this contract, it wasn't in our packets, is there anything in here that's different from last year's contract?
I apologize, I thought I had a copy of that contract in there, I'm sorry. No, this is the same thing.
I thought I seen it in there too, on the attachment on the email.
It was supposed to be in everybody's packet.
I saw it, I did too, I seen it.
Okay. If everybody else has it, that's
And you
okay.
understand, well, it was a rather hectic Friday, and it took all three of us to get packets together, and as you saw, they weren't delivered till after 6 o'clock, and so.
All right, we're gonna move into a vote. All in favor of approving the contract, Thomas Page, no, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
And then the contracts with the Blue Hill Regional Planning Commission, Mr. I had some questions before the meeting that I was not able to answer. I had read these contracts. These are simply administrative contracts for the community development block grants that the Planning Commission submitted for us. Applicable only if we are awarded those grants. That's demolition grant, community facilities. So I will get more information and bring those contracts back to you next meeting.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Not any business, but Mr. Canusis, second meeting of the month, we're supposed to approve the finances for you.
Did you get a copy today?
Yes, and I passed out, so yay, the budget's in the system. So,
That's what I'm looking at.
I gave
Yeah,
everybody
I
a
can-
copy of this, but you did not get,
I'll look at them at noon
At
with
noon,
Jan
yes.
and Steve, so.
yes, you did not get a copy of the SREs that actually have the percentages until tonight, because today was the day that we finally got everything into the system. So, what's your comfort level, whether you want to approve this tonight?
There's 3 or 4
wait till
line
next
items
time?
that they're over budget, but those, some of them are seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
One was the park. I noticed it was like 240-something%. You purchased some equipment, am I correct? Okay.
I spent some money last month, but
Do it, yeah, eh? Everybody else is.
we're all under
within
budget as far as the operational
Yes.
side.
Yes.
The police department was at 14%. Another one was at 17%, so it's in line. For our 2 months, we should have been at 16%. So,
That for motion?
Yes, I'll make that.
Okay.
For motion.
We have a second to approve the statement of revenues. We have a second. Questions? All in favor of approving the statement of revenues and expenditures, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, say
Mr. Mayor,
yes, sir. Mr.
again,
Carter.
accolades to City Clerk McElrath for all the extra time she spent just trying to get this one document
Yep.
in and prepared.
It's been a challenge this year, so thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And then also you got your abstract.
Yes, you got
City
your abstract
We
of
need to approve
accounting,
it also.
that I don't have on the agenda, sorry.
It's in your packet.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
And who
Any
was the
questions?
second? I'm sorry. Wayne?
Okay,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Wayne.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion of approving the abstract of payments, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? The motion passes. Any comments from the council?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just happen to have one. We have the money in the budget, but we had to, we have a car that we're not gonna use anymore. We had the decal removed of it, and we we switched bumpers of two. One had damage on the vehicle that we're gonna be putting in place. So the cost of that was $500, and it's gonna come out of our reserve account. Just wanna make the council all aware of that we spent $500 on this car, and it will be up for sale at some point.
I'll add to that the balance in that account is $19,375.09. So we're taking $500 off of that.
Right. And we were 14% instead of 16, so keep that in mind also.
Yeah. Well, and I did a calculation on the overall budgets. We were at
Yes.
9% with all the departments.
Total city.
And we'll have that number for you every meeting. We talked about it today.
Yeah.
Jen and Steve will have a report that will show that.
Good. So we got that. Also, just another point of information, fire department received $20,000 from a grant that was deposited today, signed the check into the fire department reserve accounts.
That's correct, Tom.
Anyone have any opposition to that, we'll change it, but that's like an appropriate place to put it.
Not gonna be any opposition from me.
All right. So I'm looking at you. I'm staring you down, make sure.
You say fire equipment reserve?
Yes, sir. I believe that's what was, the
That's
grant
good.
was made in 22 or 23?
23, sir. It was
23.
a EMSPG grant that I applied for in 23. And I was able to use it was a 50% reimbursement grant up to 40,000. So I was able to use our cardiac monitor we purchased a few years ago, along with the GMC Terrain I'm currently driving as a city vehicle. And that's how we were able to get the matching to be able to get those funds back.
That will help. That account, it only has $624.
Might help. All right. Any other comments from the council? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Driver.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. In our strategic planning session, we talked about communicating with the public, and a need to make sure we had an avenue to make that happen. And when the and I gave you guys a proposal for that when working with the high school tech center, having an intern do a social media program for us. When the finance committee met, I guess last week, this week, whenever it was, thank you. There was a recommendation from the finance committee to move forward with that for 20 hours a month at the rate of $15 an hour for 8 months, which would be through the end of the school year. That's $2,400 that would come out of the general admin budget, and that's really consistent with what the city administrator was discussing or mentioned that came up at the governor's economic development meeting, that was seen as a priority for cities. And so I've had conversations with Lance Penn and Christy Green, who we would be working with on that. The administrator and I have talked about how we would manage that person and having a place for them here in the office, working on probably on Mondays if that is the agreement. So I guess what I'm doing is making a motion that we move forward with the social media intern program, or with pursuing an agreement if that's what we need to formally make it happen, and then get started. And this will be, and I'll back up just a second for social media. The city of Kennett does not have a Facebook page. A lot of people get their information on Facebook. There is a parody account, which is not a good source of information. And also our city website. It's hard for us currently to keep up with that and to have it be a good source of information. So that's what we'll be doing. And Mr. McVeigh, of course, we'd have you look at the proposal and the oversight of how this would work with a student. So,
Let's do it with the high school student.
with a high school student, yes.
All right, do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a second. Discussion.
Are we gonna take applications, or how's that gonna work?
I think what we'll do, is primarily rely on the marketing teacher's recommendation, and maybe she will have a couple of people then to possibly interview, unless there's someone who's just kind of a standout that they would recommend. It's we are hopeful that there will be someone, some semesters they don't always have students who want to do these intern programs. So we'll see what we receive. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe the utility, CLGW, y'all worked with several of the interns that had pretty decent success out of it.
Very good luck. We've hired about half of the ones that we brought through.
And at the end of the school year, you know, we will assess whether or not that's a responsibility we would want to continue with an intern, or if there is someone on the City Hall staff that would assume those responsibilities. This will really help us get up to speed and fill a vacuum that's there right now, and get it built for someone else to take on if that's what we want to do then.
Looks like a good idea. Any other questions, discussions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Glad you got it. Move fast.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments for the council? Now we're gonna move into public comments. Ms. Dirk? Ms. Dirk, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address, please, for the record?
And my address?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't come over, guys. Okay, that was a joke. All right. I'm Sheila Dirk. I live at 221 South Main, apartment 120. I've been there for almost 16 years now. Good evening, council members, Mayor Crafton. Thank you for allowing me a few moments. I'm going to try to stick to my prepared statement, because if not, I say stupid things like don't come over. And so I'm going to try to just stick with this. I'm Sheila. I'm speaking on behalf of my parents and my sister today. I've lived in Kennett for over 21 years. I went to school here. I go to church here. I teach in this community.
If you would.
Robert Guilfoyle was arrested last night after he allegedly left his.
Sorry, we won't be able to hear you.
That's all right.
All right, go ahead.
I live here. I teach here. I minister in this community. It's my home. And I'm grateful this council is taking steps to improve this home. I'm hearing it from the onset of the meeting, how we're trying to improve it, and I commend you for starting somewhere with this ordinance. I know it wasn't, and it hasn't been easy, but you started, you know, and it's commendable to just start. I firmly believe you all want a safe, affordable city. If you didn't, I don't believe this ordinance for the housing would have ever passed. I also want to commend the landlords who have done what they were supposed to do and don't need to be met with every 2 weeks. They maintain their properties, care for their tenants, they follow the rules. These landlords set a positive example for our community, and they deserve recognition and support, and I think that's kind of getting lost in some of these social media posts and some of this vitriol going around. We have good landlords in Kennett. And I'm thankful for that. However, there are landlords who have ignored their responsibilities for over 1.5 years and longer because they believe the ordinance would not be enforced. They have a reason to believe that, had a reason to believe that. Revoking their license and then allowing them to return every 2 weeks is not real enforcement. It's a revolving door that allows what I feel is criminal negligence to continue. The tenants, these aren't just tenants, these are families. These are seniors, these are children of Kennett, should not pay the price for this lack of accountability. And let's be very clear here, it is the tenants paying for this price. It is no one else. If enforcement is serious, it must include real consequences for landlords who refuse to maintain safe housing, collect a check, and leave. Now, I'm not personally affected. You guys just heard where I live. I live in a wonderful place. I'm blessed to live where I live, or I wouldn't have stayed there for as long as I have. If my floor caves in, I call and it's fixed immediately. If my air goes out in July, I call and I have a new unit by the end of the week. That should not be a luxury in this town, and it is. While I'm not the one affected, my parents are. I've been looking for a safe place for them within their budget to live for months. I've been looking for months. And there is nowhere in this town in their budget right now for them to go if they are red tag. And I cannot have my parents farther away. I've looked into surrounding areas, and there are resources in Kennett that are not afforded in other areas around here. They cannot move. It's just not an option. And honestly, I shouldn't have to look for areas outside of Kennett for them to move. This is their home. I'm sorry. Our city is plenty large enough for them to stay here, and they want to be here. If their home is red tagged, where will they go? This is not just a policy problem, this is a human problem, and it's a question that keeps me up at night, and I hope others here as well. Where will they go? If this were your home, falling around your ears, what would you do? Would you pack up and leave Kennett? Would you shutter your businesses, and would you leave? No, of course you wouldn't. So why should these tenants be forced to? Because they're being forced to, guys. I want to urge this council to move forward with enforcement, but also with a real practical plan to protect our tenants. Enforcement without any viable solutions leaves our most vulnerable with nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. We need policies that hold landlords accountable and ensure people have safe, affordable housing. I know the citizens of this city. I know how amazing we are. I know we can get our heads together and figure this crisis out, and I'm willing to do whatever is necessary. I'm willing to do give me a hammer and I'll fix a floor. I'm not touching electricity, that's dangerous, but I will do something. Just call me up. I'll make time. I'll fix these houses because I don't understand why we can't. I don't know nothing about heating and air, but I'll figure it out if I have to because I'm willing to get my hands dirty to help others. And I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one because Kennett is a community. It's not just the city. We're a community. And we help each other out. Because I believe Kennett can have safe housing and protect its residents, but only if we enforce wisely and with compassion. My parents and many others are depending on this council and the other departments responsible to act responsibly. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Earp, where's your parents? You said the address earlier.
Their address is off of, oh, I'm sorry, you put me on the spot.
You can tell me after me. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. We're good.
I always say Lincoln Riley, and that's not, it's Cook. Cook. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming to the council meeting. What's happening? What's happening?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. I am Reverend Dinah Tapman. I am the pastor of St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church. The address is 324 West Commercial. Thank you for that passionate summation. I want to start off by thanking Councilwoman Dreyer, who called and asked that I would try to assist what we all know is a very dire situation. When she and I met, I asked 3 times, what can I do to help? And she was honest. She said, I don't know. There's a lot that needs to be done. So what we've done to try to help, we have personally visited 105 homes. 105. I was alone here. Out of the 105, I can honestly say, because I've seen them with my own eyes, I've been in them, I have pictures. I can say that maybe 12 to 13 are inhabited. Why do I say that? If we look at the definition that the federal government and even your own local health department gives a definition of what is a safe, habitable house. That's one that has running water, bed in their bathrooms, they have a tub and a toilet that can be used. They have a kitchen where they can cook without mold, hanging wires, holes in the walls. And I did that, I wanted to go out with code enforcement, but I did that because I wanted to be able to honestly say, I've seen with my own eyes some more of these, 105. And I love this community. I've been here 6 years. I know I've been hearing about what's in it for me. What's in it for me is that people have a safe, clean, habitable That's all that's in it for me. And I truly want to help, but it's hard to help when, as was stated, there's no real enforcement. I've spoken with several people. There are some good landlords here. I've spoken with some. And I assured them, I'm not here to bring your business to detriment because you're doing what's right. What I'm concerned about, and I'll keep coming, because I'm a passionate person, the people have been honest. They have paid their bills. Out of the 105 that I've seen, receipts and bills, they have paid their bills. And most of those rents that they paid include the utilities. I have utility receipts where the houses, I know you said it was only 21, where the utilities were turned off. And those receipts have landlord's name. The people have paid, y'all. So, this is bigger than me. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I do a lot of things and I've done a lot of things. And I've asked for help from the federal government and other agencies, because this is bigger than all of us. Because you said yourself that you guys have tried everything, right? We all have tried what we thought we could. This is bigger than us. So I have asked federal agencies to come in and enforce, because they can do it, whereas it's hard for any of us to do that. Because you guys have given these gentlemen chances after chance. You said they're doing right now. I want to commend one of them, one house we went to, and he himself was in there doing repairs. He's not licensed and he's not bonded to do plumbing and electrical. He's not insured. I thought these gentlemen were going to be made after the code enforcement went in and did the inspection. These gentlemen are doing self-inspections. They're going in telling their tenants, this is what you need and I'll be back, or I'll send somebody back. So they're still collecting rents. People still don't have utilities. They were honest, they paid. And the landlords, the houses I've been in and met them around the corner and have pictures, are doing the repairs. They're not licensed, they're not bonded, they're not insured. And so I just wanted to give you a full report because I came to help. I didn't come to hurt. I said this to the mayor. I didn't come here to hurt, but I did come to disrupt because it needs disruption like this. Because the people have paid, the people have been honest. And now you have people with nowhere to go, not just her parents. You have people who, in a few more days, because they were given 30 days to move, nowhere to go. And they're sitting in the dark with no lights and no utilities. I even made a call, and you can call and verify city light, gas, and water, and ask the question, can you guys give them more time for this one particular person? That's why they call anymore. This young woman, just to give you an example, the utilities is in her landlord's name. And she said, if I pay part of it, will you leave it on? And I have her receipt. She paid $92.42 on one and $58.68 on the other. And she was told, no, they need the whole $300-some. She called the landlord and said, will you pay the bill? And she was told, if you give me a $200 deposit, I'll do it. And her lights went off. And the receipt I have has a landlord's name on it. So I wanted to give my report and say this is bigger than all of us. And I have asked for help. You asked me to help, you asked me to help. And I've done what I can help. My part was compassionately talking to these people. And I'm not through. I got the other list. And I will continue to go knock on doors and let the people